how to match your expressions on stage with your message of authenticity. Welcome to Speakers Are Leaders podcast with Harry Sardinas and Lily Patrascu. Discover how to become a charismatic speaker and leader so you can attract ideal clients and business collaborations. First, you should know that every story needs to have an underlying message. So, for example, when you're telling a sad story, you ideally need to look sad. When you're telling a funny story, you need to look funny. You need to look humorous. You need to look happy, right? And when you're telling something that's relatively neutral, you need to have your neutral face. Because if there is any sort of incongruence between your message and your facial expression, you will come across as fake. And that's precisely why. I remember when I started speaking, I used to talk about how I used to have a lot of trauma, and I was saying it with a smiley face, and I was wondering why my message was not landing well.
Yeah. So got lost. Expressions is everything, because you cannot say a funny story, right, with this face. So when I woke up in the morning, I trip. Or the other thing, I want to tell you something very, very important. My closest family member just died. You see, so there is a consistency between your body language and your message that it has to be aligned in order to amplify and your message and to be coherent. This on the only way to improve this is actually practicing. And if you're nervous, you will have a mixed match face, because your facial expression will be the main amplifier of your message. So always smile to get better connection with the audience. But when it comes, for example, for the storytelling, you have to, if you're thinking, you have to put a face that you're thinking. If you are surprised, you smile. If you're concerned, you use facial expressions. Body language is a great part when it comes to communication, and your facial expressions are the main element of it, because everyone is looking at your face when you're speaking. So the only way that you can improve on that is when you're speaking and practicing at home. Record yourself and make sure that all your facial expression is coherent. Remember, if it's sad, if you're talking about something sad, you put a sad face. If you're talking about, if you land in a message or a point of the story and you want the other to be powerful, you look straight to the audience and keep a power face. If you want them to be on the relaxed state because you are sharing a joke with them, then you smile. But what it cannot happen, and this happened with Lily at the beginning of her speaking career, that I remember that she was so nervous that it was saying sometimes sad stories and smiling, or funny funny stories when the face that is not smiling. So be coherent. Your face, your body language, especially your face expression, has to be aligned with your message. Otherwise, your message will be disempowered.
If you're an advanced speaker, the next level thing you can do in order to match your facial expressions with the message you would like to transmit is to feel the emotion. So as this works especially well if you are talking about trauma or something that is particularly sad. When you genuinely go back to that darkness place that you were feeling when you were experiencing that feeling, you are going to be overcome by emotion. And it's this emotion that the audience will feel. The opposite is true as well. If, let's say, you are talking about trauma and you're kind of brushing it off, you're not really feeling it, you could put a sad face, but not really feeling it, not really going there deeply, what will happen is people may feel a little bit of empathy, but they will not be touched, moved, and inspired. And it takes a long time to get there, okay? Like you could be a very emotional, empathic person, and you could instantly do this. But what you will find is that if you practice to go through the laughter or the sadness and you really genuinely feel it, and you start expressing this as part of your speech to transmit an authentic message, what you'll find is some people in the audience will still not believe it. Why? Because you are not genuinely connecting to that emotion. You didn't go deep enough. You didn't describe the feeling in color. You described it as if it was a TV from, I don't know, 1980s that's black and white. So what needs to happen is that you can practice this kind of thing in front of audiences, but you also practice going there, like really genuinely feeling it. And it is okay to cry on stage in some instances. It is okay to go to this place of complete pain that you felt when you experienced something. And that is, I think, what a lot of actors tend to do. And that's the reason why a lot of actors receive these amazing awards for their performance, because they were genuinely able to connect with that emotion and they were genuinely able to express it, so much so that the audience believed them. And the opposite is true. If you are not believable, then your performance will be scored lower and your message will come across as less authentic.
Follow us for more charismatic speaker and leader tips.